Hey everybody, welcome back. Movie review / geek out time, where we talk about a movie we just saw, and we just saw Avengers Endgame. Oh my.
All the spoilers!
Yeah, so this, like we said in the other video, just so you know, there are actually 2 videos we've done for this, because usually we do a brief no spoiler thing, then talk spoilers, but because of this being so special, we did a no spoiler separate video, so if you're looking for that, go look for that.
Not to screw up.
Yeah, we actually didn't say any spoilers at all. However, this video is going to be all spoilers, so if you don't want to know anything, which you don't, I swear to you, go in as blind as you can. You'll be there's so many great surprises, but this is going to be very spoilery. We're going to talk about almost all that stuff. I mean, we may forget something or get too excited, because we usually do, and we have a very bad idea of popcorn.
You have a very bad idea.
Can't stop eating. Well, Regal had these awesome buckets, and there's 6 of them, and some were going fast. So yeah, we got Hulk, who's apparently, at least at our Regal, the most popular.
And you can actually
Thor.
kind of see Thor down here.
Yeah, I just can't move him because of a light.
Oh.
And there's like Iron Man, Cap, Black Widow, and Hawkeye. So
yeah,
just so you know. But anyway, so that is spoilers. Spoilers. You're reaching for a button. You're gonna click that button, because I hate it when people just like spoilers and immediately spoil something. I'm trying to give you a chance to turn it off.
Click on the video that says spoilers in the title.
Autoplay. Autoplay can screw you. I've had autoplay screw me.
That's why I don't use autoplay.
Not everybody knows. Sometimes it's on. Sometimes you want autoplay. So I'm just giving people a chance. That's plenty of a chance. If you don't want spoilers, at this point you are screwed. So when the aliens show up at the... Oh, wait.
So everybody dies...
Oh, wait. Yeah. She was talking about how she can't use her joke spoilers on the movie because the jokes we typically go for are pretty true. So where should we start? I assume we should start...
Okay,
we don't have to stay linear, but we should start more towards the beginning.
Let's start with the whole... Who's the big bad in this movie? Because it was implied that it was not going to be Thanos.
Yeah, lots of speculation.
That was correct and correct at the same time. It was Schrodinger's Thanos.
That's true. That's true. It's a tale of 2 Thanos.
Because guess what? Wibbly wobbly timey wimey shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Not parallel dimensions or anything like that. They did some time traveling.
Yep.
We had us a time heist. You mean Back to the Future was full of shit?
I'm still not entirely sure about how their time thing works, but okay.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
Because they go and straight up kill Thanos within the first 15 minutes of the movie.
It's true. Most of those trailers really are from like the first 15 minutes. That first bit, it runs fast initially.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, shit, 10 minutes in, Tony's already rescued and back on Earth.
Yeah.
By Captain Marvel.
Yes. Which
was awesome to see her again.
Yeah.
Which I will say while I'm thinking about it, surprised how little she's actually in this movie.
I have to wonder if it's because of a couple things, because they weren't sure how her movie was going to be, received.
That's true.
So they may have decided to hedge their bets. Same way Black Panther was kind of not in as much of Infinity War as
he was in more of Infinity War than she was in Endgame, I think. But yeah I see where you're going. Anyways,
the thing is, also she's so freaking overpowered. Which
by the time she does show back up, I'd kind of forgot, honestly. There was so much going on. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let's go back.
So they kill Thanos, but sorry, too late because he's already...
Well, and that's like the coolest thing is they find him, they team up, because Nebula kind of knows where he is. They find out they've already used the stones again. And turns out he used them to destroy the stones, which is super freaking smart on his part.
Yeah.
But I like that. They find him real easy. They beat the shit out of him. They cut off his Infinity Gauntlet hand.
Yeah.
And then they find out that they can't get the stones from him. And in a moment of rage, Thor just fucking whacks his head right off, man, which is a great little character beat because that kind of breaks him through the movie. That he just realizes that's not what a hero does, and he just really broke there. And I thought that was really cool, actually. And it was neat that Nebula kind of helped find them get there. It's actually really sweet watching Nebula and Tony bond and do the paper football thing and everything. That was really cool.
Yeah, I think it was just because she wasn't used to somebody having no reason to be nice to her or anything, just being nice.
Yeah.
And Tony's like, well, you're the only person here. Might as well kill him.
Right. And I love how emaciated and sickly Tony looked by the time he came back. I thought that was pretty impressive too. We'll talk more about this, but they did some awesome body manipulation on a lot of characters in this film. One in particular, to great effect. But yeah, so I mean, we get him back immediately and everything, and and then
he has a meltdown.
Yeah, which was really sweet and kind of messed up and everything, and then boom, we're 5 years later.
At which point the movie slows down.
Right. But again, not like boring.
No,
not
it's
dull.
just that they're just taking time because there's a lot of fallout to process.
Yeah, and I'm glad they actually took some time to actually do it. They didn't just mess over that. Because you did kind of need that feeling, especially if you end up watching these back to back. You know, you needed to kind of come down because Infinity War was just whiz bang, go, go, go the whole way through.
Because some of our survivors took it a bit harder than others.
Yeah.
Because you open the movie with Hawkeye and his family.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, we see little Kate Bishop. He calls her Hawkeye. That was awesome. And he set up, you know, set up the whole Ronin thing that, of course, ends up happening. Which, actually, with the Ronin stuff, that was more brutal than I would have expected for a Marvel movie. I'm like, that was a throat slit that you can see.
Yeah.
That's killing a man in cold blood. Okay.
Yeah, what was this rated? Because the whole shit
I'm pretty
sure.
was. Yeah, and like everybody said shit. And actually, I'm shocked. And I got to jump a little bit towards the end, but because I want to say it while I'm thinking about it. But so you know, if you're trying to avoid end spoilers, too late because I'm going to say it. But when you know, when Cap's back in time and he meets young Cap and they start fighting each other, but like right before they start fighting each other, old Cap is like, ah, shit. I needed the other Cap to go, language. I needed that. They didn't do it. It's like, all right, fine.
Well, that's because he thought it was Loki and didn't care.
That's true. Which, by the way, since we're there, so technically Loki's still around now.
No. Not
again,
necessarily.
The timey-wimey thing, but they could...
No, because Loki wasn't killed by the snap. Loki was killed before then.
That's not what I'm talking about. Remember? Like, Tony loses the goddamn Tesseract, and while Loki's in custody...
Oh!
And he grabs the Tesseract and portals the fuck out of there, so he was never actually captured.
Okay, that's a really good point.
So technically, Loki's still going around somewhere now, which makes more sense for the show.
Okay, I kind of forgot about that. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. But I thought that was really cool.
Really wobbly tiny.
Yeah, and I love that too. Like that. I guess we're just getting into
like it. Like, I remember him. He's like, "Bye."
But yeah, so then, you know, of course, Ant-Man, because we're almost getting into the time travel stuff anywhere. That's really where the movie really takes off, and we can always jump back if we think of things. But yeah, like seeing, well, also the reunion of Cap and like Tony and his daughter. That was really sweet. The little girl's adorable as can be.
She is.
And that he's retired. He doesn't want to help with the time. Oh my God, the time travel with Scott Lang.
Yeah. By the way, his place by the lake with Gwyneth Paltrow or Pepper Potts. I'm pretty sure Gwyneth Paltrow's like, okay, if I had a cabin, I'm pretty sure it would be all this and all this organic stuff.
Could be. Yeah. Yeah. It seemed very goopy. See, I know things.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised you did.
But yeah, so I thought all that was really cool. And then I love okay, before we get into the time stuff, because I'm getting right up to it, but Professor Hulk, I heard the toy spoiled it. So I did know this was supposed to happen, but I was glad to see it confirmed. They did Professor Hulk. That Banner and Hulk have like reached an agreement. And you have...
Weirdly kind of hot.
Yeah, I can see it. I agree. I mean, I see where that you would say that. Love the diner scene when the kids want his picture, but no one wants Ant-Man's picture.
Because nobody knows who the hell Ant-Man is.
I know, but at the same time, I'm like, but aren't the kids like Captain America's right there?
Yeah. Oh, God. I have such a big question about the ending of the movie. Okay. But we'll get there later.
All right, we can get to it. Okay. So... But the other cool thing, though, is with Scott Lang and the time travel before Tony decides to help. I love that he was coming back at different ages.
Now, I have to say, one of the few failings in the effects department was the faces inside the helmets on those suits. Because they were so clearly CGI'd in and not, you know...
I didn't get that. I'm not...
Okay. It read like... That face is bigger than it should be all of a sudden. Okay.
I mean, that may be fair. Maybe I'll notice it on my next viewing, but I was just laughing too hard at that shit. Especially when they bring back baby Scott. And then regular Scott comes back and is like, I seem to have peed myself. I don't know if that was young me, or baby me, or old me, or... I don't know, it might have been me. Yeah. That was great. And then Tony speeding up, you know, and coming to like, I figured out the time travel, and then gives him back his shield. That was awesome. So that was really, really cool. And you're like, keep it low key because I don't have enough for everybody. I mean, that's such a great Tony line, man. But yeah, so then we get into like the time heist.
Yeah.
Of course, here's where the movie really starts kicking off.
First of all, I love them doing research. Because actually, there's one other thing that we needed before we go into that. Assembling the team brings us one of the big surprises that nobody would have seen coming, and that's Thor.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Thor
I didn't mean to gloss over this.
Dealt well
No.
With the events after killing
That
Thanos.
was hilarious. Big old. You do it. You got it.
Basically, he's turned into the dude from the Big Lebowski.
They even make. I laughed. I was like, oh my god, he's the dude. And then like 2 seconds later.
Now you got me.
2 seconds later, Tony's like, out of the way, Lebowski. It's like, we got Big Lebowski Thor. That is awesome.
I mean, he's got a big old pot belly.
Mm-hmm. Again, the CG that we're talking about. Yep.
And then he's got, his hair's all long and dready, and he's got a big old beard.
And like practically a bathrobe. It wasn't quite, but practically. Yeah. Always holding the beer. Had the sunglasses, and they're like, is he asleep?
And what's his face? And
Korg and Meek were there.
Yeah.
And because Korg was getting bullied in Fortnite, so Thor had to get on and like threaten a kid to come over there and rip his arms off and shove him up his butt. That was so cool. I was so happy to see like Korg and all those folks back to New Asgard.
It's like yay, good, they survived the purge.
Well, we kind of knew that. It would kind of been confirmed, not necessarily in the movies. I mean, it's kind of there if you really paid attention to the beginning of the first Avengers Infinity War.
Well, the thing is, they may have survived that particular onslaught. Okay. There was no guarantee that they survived the snap.
Oh, good point. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. But so that was a fantastic reveal. Mm-hmm. That he just didn't want to, like, is there beer? Because that's how they got him. It was like, there's beer on the ship. What kind? So that was fantastic.
But then they're starting to do the research on the stones, and they're going like, Thor, tell us about the reality stone. That was a mistake.
Yeah, he starts going into how it turns into how his life's all broken, and he's not with Natalie Portman anymore. Who, by the way, actually did have a little shot of a new scene in here, so that was freaking awesome.
But it's fun watching them because they keep switching locations, and like at one point, like Hulk's just eating like a pint of ice cream, and then they're going like, so Doctor Strange is in New York. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh, but also too with Scott Lang and the tiny tacos. Hulk cans of in Hulk's hand, they look like these tiny little toy tacos, but they're full size tacos. That was awesome too. Oh man, yeah, all that stuff was fantastic. Hold on, you know what else is fantastic?
What?
Ad revenue. We'll be right back.
All right, and we're back.
And you maybe just saw 3 seconds of nothing. You never know how that works with the ads. But anyway, so time heist.
Yeah. So of course they plan it all out. It's like, okay, these 3 stones are in New York at the same time, and then we know where these 2 other stones are out in space, and then what was the other one?
We had 2 in space, 3 in New York, and Asgard. They had to go get the ether from Natalie Portman.
That's right.
And that's where Thor meets his mom, and his mom knows he's Thor from the future.
Okay, how hard did that one hit you?
His mom, that got to me. That one definitely got to me. Well, I mean, I can relate a little bit. For those of you who don't know, my mom passed away like 2.5 years ago. Yeah. So, but that was. But it was cool to go back there, And they walk by Loki in the cell. Mm-hmm. I like seeing all these recreated scenes from different places. Speaking of which, in the Battle of New York and Hulk, and how Professor Hulk they want him to blend in. So you might want to smash some things along the way. He's feels gratuitous, but okay. He's like, Hulk smash.
Rawr.
That was so cool. Rawr. Yeah, that part I was dying. I was dying at that. That was so good.
And that was after watching his younger self just go completely ape shit on it.
Mm-hmm. Which was neat too, that they went back to the original CG models and everything, to really recreate it accurately. You even got that sweeping circle shot, that famous shot from the first Avengers recreated. Well, not recreated, I think they just reused it. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
But that was awesome. And I just love that they revisited all these things. So the New York bit was great, especially with fucking Crossbones and Sitwell fucking show up. I'm like,
oh yeah. I remember Sitwell. Crossbones is the one that
he was the gruffer looking one.
Yeah,
he's what started off Civil War, basically.
Yeah.
They dropped a building on him at the end of Winter Soldier.
Right.
Yeah, and then they kind of recreated the vibe of the elevator scene.
I was going like, and you're waiting for the fight to happen. You're waiting, and then
we get the fucking moment from the comics kind of redone. Obviously, because he's just he knows they're Hydra, all these S.H.I.E.L.D. people. So Cap does the whisper into the dude's ear, "Hail Hydra!" So get away with his staff, which was awesome. Did not see that coming. And what a great reference to that comic.
Yeah.
And they're
like, okay.
Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, right on, man.
And then, have a staff.
Right, and then, surprises of surprises, Robert fucking Redford shows back up as the Secretary of State from Winter Soldier. I was like, what? How did he not hear?
He's one of those actors where I go, oh yeah, he's still alive.
Oh, that's kind of bad.
I know.
But no, we all do it. No, you're not a terrible person. It happens to all of us. As long as you're glad he's still alive.
Yeah.
If you're like, damn it, he's still alive. Damn. Maybe then you're a bad person. But that was an awesome thing too. And Tony was going to sneak away with the. I love that Tony told Ant-Man to give young Tony a heart attack.
He's like, are you sure about this?
And then, of course, Thor uses his hammer on young Thor, and young Tony, like, let me try this. And resuscitates him, and young Tony's like, that was really cool, man. I forget what the line was, but that was great. And then old Tony's going
to treat, I believe it was the exact line.
Yeah, and then old Tony was going to run off, and Hulk had to take the stairs. That was great. All the young Avengers are in the elevator.
Hulk hates stairs!
Hulk hates stairs!
And unfortunately for older Tony, Hulk really hates stairway doors, apparently.
Right. Which, of course, knocks the Tesseract over to Loki like we were talking about. So all that was fantastic.
At which point, that plan went out the window.
Yeah. And then we'll go back more into their plan in a minute, because there's some great stuff to talk about how they went from there. But I guess in terms of what was the weak point of the three missions, that would actually be the Hawkeye and Scarlett, the Black Widow part. It's still really good. It's really good. But of the three, I think the New York stuff, the World War II stuff, which we'll talk about, and even Asgard, I think those were a little bit stronger. I just feel like, I mean, there were some great moments in their mission. I don't know. It's like apples and not apples and oranges, but I mean, it's like that close. I'm not saying it's a big drop off. I'm just saying of the three, it's probably the weakest of the three.
Yeah, but theirs had the highest stakes.
Yeah, that's true. They did come away with the death of Black Widow, which
was a surprise, actually, because if they were going to kill somebody, I would have thought it would have been, from a writer's standpoint, that it would have been Hawkeye. Yeah,
and I like that he was like, for what I'd done. I like that they fought over who was going to die. I mean, that's crazy, but it totally worked.
In all honesty, what I was kind of hoping would happen was that
they
would both go over the edge, and because they both basically sacrificed themselves, they'd be like, you know what, you all actually chose the right answer.
I get you. Yeah, that would work.
And it's just like, nobody dies, you get stoned.
And I don't know if my thought would have worked, but I kind of like, what if they just team up on Red Skull? They're just going to sacrifice you, dude. I don't know if he still has a soul to sacrifice. I know.
Yeah,
okay.
Remember the conditions.
Fair enough. But I did have that split second of like, that would be kind of funny if they're just like, we know it has to be done, right?
I don't think either one of them recognized that was Red Skull.
I don't think they know about Red Skull. Cap should be the only one that really knows about Red Skull.
Yeah.
And they never really said anything specific where he would pick up on it.
Well, where they both worked for S.H.I.E.L.D., it may have come across.
Yeah, but not like enough to be like, oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, all that stuff was really neat. It was neat to watch Hawkeye wake up where Thanos did in the last movie with the stone and everything. And but then we start getting into the time-traveling Thanos. We get the young Thanos through Nebula.
Yeah, because when Nebula goes back in time, she hooks up with the same wireless network as her guys.
Yeah, she basically reconnects to the Wi-Fi. That's kind of what happened. Which is great, because then that sparks the real threat, which is young Thanos. It's like, oh, they've got all the stones together in one place. I'm going to go back and undo what they're trying to undo that I already did. But before we jump into the big finale with that, we can go back to Cap and Tony. Going back to World War II, because there's so much awesome stuff in there.
Yeah.
I mean, just even having to sneak into the building.
By the way, that's where you're going to see our friend Casey Miracle.
Was he one of those scenes? Okay,
yeah.
We didn't catch him this time.
He didn't get cut. I didn't actually see him because I forgot to look for him because watching the movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to look.
It wasn't like Venom where he gets a close up.
Yeah, but he's actually in a situation where they may have actually just been a group of people that they made multiples of for like a crowd.
I got you. Okay. But anyway, so that's where you find him if you're looking for him. But I think it's really great to see Haley Atwell back. And watching Cap longingly look at her.
And
that was great. But that was another one of those great surprises. We were talking about, like, if you see everything, like we watched the Agent Carter series and everything. One of our favorite things about that was the physical version of the Jarvis from that era. And they actually even brought that actor back. I thought that was so cool. Little touches like that make watching all those shows so much worth it.
Yeah.
You know, because it gave me such an extra layer of flavor in watching this movie. So I was really happy about that. Although I'm bummed that they didn't bring Coulson back for this. Like, everybody but Coulson, really. You even brought that fucking Sitwell. But yeah, so I mean, that was really touching. And then the stuff with Tony and meeting his dad.
I think the reason why they didn't is because Coulson was dead by that point in Avengers.
As far as they know, yeah.
Yeah, well, he was in Tahiti.
But I mean, he could have shown up at Stark's funeral or something, since we know. I don't know.
No, he couldn't have, because remember, it's important that the Avengers never know he was still alive. And by the time Stark's funeral was around, spoilers for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I just want Coulson back. That's all. I want more Coulson. I like Agent Clark Gregg is just awesome.
But anyways, there's no the timing's just wrong all
Fair
over the
enough.
place for Coulson.
Fine. But I love Tony Stark and his dad, and he's like, "My name is Howard. I mean, Howard Potts." And like his dad was, getting advice about raising a child from his child. I mean, like, that was crazy. More wibbly wobbly, timey wimey awesomeness.
Yeah.
And that was really, really sweet. And I think that pretty much covers the time heist. Yeah.
One other thing that happens that's rather important. When Thor's back in Asgard, it's just like, Fargo.
Oh yeah.
I'm still worthy.
Yeah, that was awesome too. And he gets Mjolnir back.
Mjolnir.
I almost said it.
Yeah, Mjolnir.
Maybe I don't know. But yeah, that was really cool too. But
and then he heads off with the hammer. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh,
aren't you supposed to do that here?
Yeah, and then I forgot about Roadie and Nebula.
Yeah.
Where Peter Quill at the beginning. And I wish they did do it, but I think they could have made it funnier. But I love that, because I was expecting it. I was remembering when they started seeing the little animals, I'm like, oh my god, they're going to see him doing that opening singing, dancing thing, but without hearing the music, which they did do, but they kind of showed him doing it with the music first.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's to remind the audience, I think.
Yeah, but I think most of the Marvel audience would remember, but that's fine. It's a nitpick, because they did actually give me that joke, and I'm so happy they gave me that joke. And then they just knocked him out and went and stole the thing real easy.
Yeah.
But then, of course, they all come back.
And, not all of them.
That's what I was gonna say. It's the young Nebula.
Yeah. Who just stole a few choice pieces off of her older self. You go, look, I look just like her now.
And of course, nobody paid her much mind.
Yeah.
And then she was able to then bring Thanos through, because she gave him some of the Pym particles. So he shrunk his whole fleet or his ship or whatever, and brought them through back or into the future, I guess, because they were from 2014. And so now we really get into it, and this is where it gets.
Yeah. Then next, okay, so first of all, they get their own Infinity Gauntlet assembled.
Yeah.
And there's the whole argument about who's going to do it.
Yeah.
And Thor's wanting to basically repent. It's going like, I'm a freaking god. I've got electricity coursing through me. It's like, yeah, electricity's not going to help you here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Hulk's like, okay, this thing nearly killed Thanos when he did. And I'm gamma radiation. It's a little closer to this. So yeah,
he unsnaps everybody.
Yeah.
And then Clint gets the call from his wife.
Fries his arm in the process.
Yeah, and a little bit of his face too, man. But Hulk will probably recover, I'd imagine. So. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in the future, I hope.
But and then as soon as they start getting signs that people and animals will never come back, they all die. Yeah,
like I seriously thought they blew Ant-Man the hell up.
I thought so too. Because I'm sitting here going like, how did you react fast enough to that? You were already in the blast.
Like right at the 0 point of it too. But thank God he didn't.
Yeah, I'm sorry. At that level of destruction that rained down upon the complex, there should have been at least one casualty.
Yeah, you think, but I think they did a really good job laying out what happened to everybody and making it realistic how each person didn't necessarily, get killed or maimed too poorly. So that was cool. Them all fighting to, kind of get back out, and Hawkeye running from the alien dog things. I mean, all that stuff was great. Trying to save the gauntlet. And,
only to encounter Nebula. It's like, oh, hey, I know you.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, and then alive young Gamora makes friends with old Nebula. So it's like, oh, good. This is what I always wanted out of Nebula. I think that's what brought her over. And then they get into a thing.
Probably being told that you got killed.
There's that, too. And then old Nebula had to kill young Nebula. It's like, okay.
I was like, and how are you still alive?
Because Back to the Future was bullshit. I'm just quoting the movie.
Actually, is their version of time travel closer to Dragon Ball Z's version? Where you just keep getting parallel realities?
That's a good point. You're right. It is much closer to that. Well, you're spot on with that.
Okay, and that's a headache by itself.
Yeah. Before we set something up, since we're about to get into the big end battle and all the little pieces we love of that, they did address with Captain Marvel. I like that they addressed where she had been during all this other shit on her. And she's like, there's all these worlds out there. They don't have the Avengers, basically. So that was a nice touch. And by this point, I kind of forgot it's supposed to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Because she had been out of it for so long. Mm-hmm. So to the point when she actually does come back, like everybody else, you recognize that I heard, but it took me a second. It's like, right.
When all the big guns suddenly stop bombarding the ground and start shooting up into the air, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it took me a second to get to it because I was like, oh, right. Yeah,
I think the other thing that you were a little slow to pick up on was Mjolnir. Because there's a scene where Mjolnir's away from Thor. Thor's getting his ass handed to him.
You definitely got to it a second sooner than I did, and this is one of the biggest moments of the fight.
Then you see Mjolnir start rising up. Now, you don't see the handle, but you see it start rising up, and I'm like, oh, I know what this is going to be.
Yeah, you definitely got to it a split second sooner than I did, but
because
Cap is worthy.
Cap
is worthy. And then Thor's like, I knew it! And then Cap goes to town with Mjolnir on Thanos. Yeah. Although I did bring up one question, and we'll jump back on some of the fight, because we're just going to go all over the place with the fight, but okay, so if you're not worthy, you can't lift it.
Correct.
Okay? But if somebody is lifting it to swing it at you, how can you stop them? Like, just by grabbing their wrist? Because Thanos did that, and it stopped the hammer. I would think, doesn't that, I don't know.
Well, you're not stopping, the hammer is in the grip of the person.
I guess it's just one of those.
So you can stop the person, not necessarily, you just can't pick, yeah.
Well, it's weird magic-y things, I guess.
Well, it's like Tony Stark said, you put the hammer in the elevator can still lift it up and down.
Okay, that's a good point. All right. But that was awesome, watching Cap hammer the hell out of Thanos.
Yeah.
And then Thanos breaking down his shield.
Even without Infinity Stones, Thanos is a badass.
Oh, yeah. No, he was, like, more brutal in this with his double blade thing. Mm-hmm. That was awesome. And I love that he brought, like, all the armies we've seen in the movie. He brought the Chitauri back. He brought whatever the army was called from the last movie. You know.
I have no idea what those things are called.
I don't know. They're generic alien races.
Did those giant, like, ape-type monsters, were those in the last movie?
They might have had some of those in the last one. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't remember seeing them in the last one.
Yeah, I'm not 100%.
They may have been new to this one.
Mm. But yeah, so that was cool. And that was a massive, massive army. And I love, it reminded me of The Last Jedi, because it was just Cap facing off this immense army. And Cap was ready to do it. I mean, he knew he wasn't going to be able to, but he was ready to try.
Now, I have to say, I had liked Thanos going like, all the killing, the death, the destruction in here. None of it was personal.
But this planet,
I'm going to enjoy what I'm going to do to this planet.
That was awesome. And it made it even better, like the whole fight. And then, man, is when comic book nerdgasm heaven happens. Because, Doctor Strange portal opens up. I don't even remember who the fuck the first... Black Panther.
Yeah, well, first of all, you hear Falcon in Captain's headset going like...
Over the radio.
On your left, Captain. And you see, that's where the first portal opens up.
Black Panther walks out with Cheery and, it was on the tip of my...
something.
Okoye, I think.
Something like that.
I almost had it, but...
I'm so bad with
Denai Guerrera, Walking Dead. And and then that got some big hooping and hollering in the theater, and I don't blame them. Like, I get pissy about people making noise, but I mean, moments like that, I get it. Like, it's intended. That's what the filmmakers want. It's like, and then we were there.
More and more portals just start opening up all over the place.
And every character that has ever been, that still exists in a Marvel movie, or even the TV shows, not the Netflix stuff, of course, but they were there.
No, there's nobody from S.H.I.E.L.D. in there.
Well, okay. Fair enough. There was other S.H.I.E.L.D., but you know what I mean. But, yeah, that's true. They could have had, like, Quake. But, no, never mind. That gets too complicated. They're out in space. Anyway. Well, I mean, Spider-Man comes in. Tony hugs him. Yeah. Spider-Man's, this is nice. That was so cool. But, yeah, Valkyrie on her horse. Pegasus. Even fucking, sorry, I'm trying not to curse too much in these things anymore. Hi, kids. But I'm excited. But Pepper Potts as
rescued.
I don't know that she was actually rescued though, because rescue did not have weapons. That was kind of the point, and she clearly had weapons. Well, so they didn't really name her. I don't think.
Well, it depends on how. This is depends on how you're rescuing people, I guess. But yeah, and and I like how Doctor Strange looks at Wong and goes, "Is everybody?" It's like, "You want more?"
Which is so funny because I'm in the audience being like,
yeah.
I mean, I know there's nobody yet, but
like, you see what's over there? I want everything.
Well,
I was just wondering if all the ships that they were pouring through, if those were all Wakandan or if there were some from other parts of the galaxy. I was never terribly clear on that part.
Well, I think the only good guy army is the Wakanda army. I don't recall. I mean, other than like the normal human army, but I don't think that was really represented. So I don't think so. Could be wrong. Okay. You can tell us in the comments if we are.
It's just like yeah, because that was just one of those instances you're going like, well, it wouldn't be the Kree.
Yeah, they didn't get into Kree or Skrulls really. So, well, I guess the Kree, no, they didn't really do Kree. No. But let's see what else, because we are running. This is
I know.
So we want to hit our big favorite moments in the beats. We can then talk about the end too. But I know we hit the Mjolnir or the hammer, the Thor hammer.
Yeah.
Spider-Man riding the hammer. Every single one of the badass ladies of Marvel get this massive representation, and
and Spider-Man is going like, y'all have that.
Yeah. and yes, I will admit it did feel a little obvious, like, oh, now let's make sure we have this big one.
It's kind of like,
but I loved it. I mean, we needed that.
Well, remember there's a scene in Infinity War where you had like 4 of the ladies, I think.
Yeah.
You know.
But this was like to the extreme.
Like, and everybody loved that. So they were going, okay, all the ladies, all the single ladies. No.
Yeah, I know. I mean, well, we know Scarlet Witch is. Oh, too soon?
Oh, gosh, she went to town on Thanos.
She was getting her vengeance to the point where Thanos was like, blow up everything! What about our troops? Fuck them!
Yeah, that is what caused the ground strikes to start happening.
Yeah, so that was awesome. and okay, I kind of figured when Tony sees Doctor Strange and says, "You saw 14 million views. This is the one, right? This is the one." And he says,
"I can't tell you.
If I tell you, it won't happen." I was like, "Uh-oh, I don't like the way he said that."
And then later on, Tony looks over at him again, and he puts one foot up.
Yeah.
Tony's like, "Okay."
Yeah, we know what's happening next, which is amazing because Tony wields his gauntlet, and he just wipes. He's like, "Get rid of Thanos and his army."
I'm not entirely sure how he managed to get all 6 stones out of that gauntlet.
I'm thinking that was something with his suit, like, because the suit and the new gauntlet were his nanotech.
Yeah.
So they probably just kind of like, he was able to...
but it's also fried to death. The only reason why it works for Thanos is because it was sized for Hulk.
Yeah, that's true. But it resizes, though, too. So, I mean...
No, that thing was fried. Did you see how badly fried that thing was after it was used the first time?
Well, yeah, after Hulk used it. Good point. That's why it wouldn't re-shrink back down. Yeah, okay, I follow. But that was really great. And definitely heartbreaking to see Iron Man die. Which, he did. But you know what? He died in the comics, and now I assume Robert Downey Jr. he'll just be back as his hologram. That's what they will do the comics, because that makes it even easier for him.
Yeah.
And if they don't, it's okay. But
and it's like Peter Parker's like, Mr. Stark. And Pepper's like, excuse me, my husband.
Right? Yeah. She just moves Spider-Man away. Tells him everything will be okay. That was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And but I love that. It was a reverse of the end of Infinity War, too. That it was like, oh, we're getting a snapping again. We're getting a dusting again, but it's all the Thanos people. And then Thanos. Like, I would not have actually wanted this, but there was part of me that kind of wanted Thanos to be like, Gamora, I don't feel so good. Or something. But that would have taken me out of it. It would have been stupid, but the thought did run through my brain. So that was really satisfying, too.
Yeah.
Very satisfying conclusion. And
I thought it was interesting that all their ships and stuff disappeared too, and not just the people.
Well, I imagine he's like erased this entire invading threat, because I was like, well, you can't just say all of Thanos' people, because then what about Gamora? And, so that worked out. Now, is there anything else in the big battle before we get to the tiny bits of reveals? Oh God, we do got to wrap this up.
Yeah, no, I think that was pretty much all the high points.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so many fantastic points in it that it's one of those we need to frame by frame. Because there's so much going on, but everybody got their moment. Even like a Wong. And fucking I forgot about Hulk getting body punched out by the Ancient One, Tilda Swinton being back in there.
Oh yeah,
that whole sequence was great. And apparently she knew 5 years ahead of time that Stephen Strange was going to eventually. Yeah. Like she just knew all that forever. I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. But yeah, there's probably beats in the action we're forgetting about, but. It's so good. It's so good. But then we still get some other cool things at the end here too.
Yeah, because this movie also takes its time with the ending because, again,
it's a Return of the King ending, yeah.
There's a lot of things to wrap up,
mm-hmm.
and they're not going to short shrift anybody. Now, back in our non-spoiler, we mentioned that there was one cameo that we weren't really sure about.
Oh, at Tony's funeral, yeah. And I like what you think it is. I think that makes sense.
There was a teenager by himself.
As they're going through all the grieving people.
Yeah, because he had different groups of people. And I'm thinking it's the kid from Iron Man 3.
That he was kind of buddying up with for a little while.
Yeah.
That's the best we can come up with.
There's a possibility that maybe, he kept a hand in the kid's life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would make sense, because that's the kind of thing I think Tony would do. So, I mean, if you know otherwise, you can definitely tell us.
Yeah. But I'm sitting here looking at the scenes, you're like, what the hell's this?
But that was really cute, and it was neat kind of seeing everybody there. Sam Jackson walks out, Maria Hill's there, all that kind of stuff.
Almost took me a moment to recognize Maria Hill.
Yeah. Well, I was busy trying to figure out who that kid was, so I almost missed her. And I was like, oh, no, there she is. Cool. But you good with the funeral part?
Yeah.
All right, well, then we get to Cap's going to take all the stones back to everybody and come right back.
And Mjolnir. He took Mjolnir with him.
Yeah, that was cool, too.
That needed to be put back.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. I hadn't really thought about it, but yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, maybe he's taking with him in case there's trouble. No, actually, no, he needs to put that away.
But, and as soon as, like, they're like, we'll send him, he'll take him, we'll be right back. Like, I saw how he looked at Peggy.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that we got to see Old Man Rogers. Mm-hmm. And now maybe they can do that movie. But but I love that was so sweet that he got to go back and have that life with her after all.
Now, how the hell did that even work?
Science.
No. It's not. He could physically go back and be with Peggy, yes, but he looks like Captain America.
Oh, maybe he got a job as a Captain America impersonator. Mm-hmm.
And secondly, there's no way he could have kept himself out of trouble because he's not that kind of person. Shit would start happening.
That's a good point.
Inclined to do something about it.
But did we ever establish that in that newly created universe parallel continuity that maybe he didn't? Maybe Cap just got to be around again during all the old times.
No, because then it wouldn't have changed the current storyline.
See, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. This video's almost 40 minutes. We don't need to figure it out here.
I need some major explanation. Maybe Nerdist will do something.
That's what I was going to say. Now we're going to go watch all the fun videos. But that was a great beat. And then we get one more awesome... Well, there's a couple more things. But we get one more awesome story beat that is a major comics thing. And we knew Sam and Bucky were getting a show. Mm-hmm. And I assumed it was going to be competing over who's going to get Cap's shield. Because I figured Cap would die.
Yeah.
But I love that Cap just gives Sam the shield. Although then I got really distracted by Sam's facial hair. Because it's not like just like the chin kind of goatee thing.
Yeah.
It kind of is through here, but it's like just the front, like, you have like kind of a sideburn like this, but it's like the front half. And it kind of comes down like, so like there's this just strip of, it was bugging me. I was like, I never noticed that before.
I think it's called chin strap.
Yeah, it was weird. But anyways, I still think Sam and Bucky might have to both take the mantle of Cap, but I like that he handed off the mantle to the Falcon. So we'll get the Falcon Captain America in the future.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
That just reminded me about the whole joke about, yep, that is the ass of America.
Oh, yeah, totally missed that, too. With Captain America's ass, and he looks at it himself. Yeah, that was great. That was great. And I wonder, too, he hit him with the scepter.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, man, that could totally set up a parallel universe story where they do the Hydra Captain America somehow. I don't know. I mean, it's not ran through my mind. I don't know if that's really going to happen or not, but yeah. And then, of course, we get the flashback to seeing Cap and Peggy. Yeah. And I feel like that's a really satisfying conclusion to Tony and Captain America, who I don't think we're going to get that much more of anymore, which is a bummer. But, there's plenty of other great Marvel characters we can get into.
They can safely pass the torch on.
Yeah. One other joke, and then we really should wrap it up, because I said I didn't want this to be 30 minutes, and it's actually going to be 40. I should have taken another break in there.
Well, it's a freaking 3-hour movie.
Good point. 3-hour tour. Lee Cameo.
Oh, yeah.
That was cute.
In the 50s?
70s.
70s.
And he was driving a nice car with the Enough Said bumper sticker, and they aged him down. That was cute. However, I think it could have been more emotional. They didn't know. In my head, I didn't know how everybody would come back. So I thought maybe there would be a montage of seeing people come back. They didn't do that. If that had been the case, it would have been neat to see Stan come back. just because how that would be feeling for us. Like, we got to see him come back. So that's, but his cameo is what it was. No, I just mean, you know, if a movie had gone that way, that would have been nice. But the way they did it was really cool too. So I really liked that. Yeah. Oh, and then one of my other favorite jokes I want to mention, Peter Quill. I know, right? But like you said, 3-hour movie. Peter Quill, when he sees Gamora, but it's not his Gamora, and he goes and touches her, and she's like,
who the hell are you?
And she knees him in the balls. And then she knees him again, and he falls. He's like, oh, the first time you totally missed, but the second time you got both of them. That was such an awesome line. Like, just in that split moment, we got a great Peter Quill line. And then the him and Thor, who's in charge, and everyone's like, yeah, you should fight over it. Yeah, if you don't want to use guns, I've got knives. And Mantis is like, oh, yes, please, knife fight. It's like, Mantis, what the...
She's been around Drax too long, I think. But that's very interesting that they apparently, I guess, people liked Thor so much with the Guardians and Infinity War. It's like, well, there's a slot open.
Yeah, and also, I don't think they know what the plan is yet, or they probably do, but we don't know. But I know Chris Hemsworth, he's down. He wants to still be Thor. Yeah. So we'll get more Thor.
Yeah, because he's like, he went to Valkyrie and went like, I'm a shit leader. You need to be in charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that's going to be really cool. And I'm anxious to see where we go from here. Ned got a little cameo with Peter coming back to school. That was cool to see Ned. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering how Homecoming works out, because I guess all of Spider-Man's friends got dusted because they're all the same age. Because if they hadn't been dusted, they'd be 5 years older.
Okay, that's making some sense, because I hadn't actually had a problem with that, and I should have. They're like, wait, why would they still be in school if it's 5 years later? So, but yeah, you're right. I guess that's what it is. I guess they were dusted. They're like, oh, good to see you. All right, good. Okay, good thinking. That's got to be it. I'm sure there's other things we're not thinking, but we got to wrap this up because it's 40 minutes, and I am going to I may put this one out a day late just to help not spread spoilers, but we'll see.
All right.
But let us know, what did you all think? What's your favorite part? Definitely geek out with us in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Other than that, you can click the thumbs up button, give us the good old thumb of encouragement, as we do love to be encouraged. Check out the Stardust app, look up TheEricButts, use the link in the description below. It's midnight. I gotta take her home.
Fucking night, really?
Yeah, I gotta take her home. I still gotta go prep for Drunken Movie Night tomorrow and make these videos. So we will see you all later.